What's left for Philippine CrossFit?
God knows that there are those competitions. They exist here in this country.
Viral yan agad.
Bakit iba na?
Sino ka? Kung mataba ka, ang tawag sa'yo, si taba. Huwag na natin pag-usapan here.
I think I was 112 pounds.
It was so normal to be out of shape.
Tingin mo para siyang buffet?
Sali ako dito, sali ako dito, sali ako dito. It started to become irrelevant.
Sabi niya, wala mong point. Hindi natin pwede sabihin ngayon. Pero alam nga natin kung saan napunta yun.
There was just this one same guy. Curious ako, sino to?
Actually, malakas siya. Sabi niya, kita tayo sa Alabang. Ikaw, nakawigo ka. How much of your life are you willing to sacrifice? I don't see myself joining a CrossFit competition when I'm 50. Dilulu, your grandmother can do CrossFit. CrossFitters joking about people who join high rocks. They show these 70-year-olds completing the race. It's going to be exploding soon. That's not a sport. That's a pageant. Miss Universe. Who wins Miss Universe? It's definitely not gonna be about me. Okay, Zaki, we're here. Episode 1. The Balanced Life. Tama? The Balanced Life. The Balanced Life. Not a Balanced Life.
Yeah,
No,
The Balanced Life.
So, this is a podcast by TitoFit. Alright. So, how do we even begin?
Parang 2 months ago, we got together,
Yeah.
planned this, and now
2 months na ba yun?
2 months, December yun eh. We met early December.
So, we're recording this. It's now towards the latter part of Feb. Yeah, 2 months. So 2025, we're actually here. We're finally here. I think a lot of if they've been subscribed to the channel before, from before, they'll probably be wondering, oh, may podcast, bakit iba na? Di ba? So parang ganun. And actually, baka isipin pa nga, sino ka? So,
No, like, I'm the newest addition to TitoFit eh.
yeah. And formerly Fits po.
Huwag na natin pag-usapan here na.
Or Pamangkin 2.0 can also be it. I think the ones who've been tuned in from way back will probably recognize your brother. So they'll probably recognize your brother. So you're yeah. If you don't know, he's Daniel's younger brother.
Yes.
So he's Pamangkin 2.0.
So si Pamangkin Daniel is now Tito Daniel.
Grabe kasi, my gosh. Nung nag-record kami ni Daniel ng videos noon, meron nga kami ni-record na it was just for kicks. Literally for kicks. We drank shots of whiskey. Tapos
Nalala ko yung pandemic yun.
nag-workout kami. Yes, exactly. That was almost 5 years ago.
5 years ago na yun.
Kasi TitoFit started exactly 5 years ago. Our first video, I'm not 100% sure, but for sure it was 2020. I'm not sure if it was January or February or even March. Basta somewhere between the start of the year. I want to say it was before the lockdowns. That was our first video. I remember we shot it sa Austin. Austin reminded us earlier kasi Austin was here. So we don't have beef. Austin and I don't have beef.
Basta na.
Austin's part, he's still a part of TitoFit. It's just a shift in his role. He reminded me kanina na he remembers fresh ba sa isip niya yung first video namin na we recorded sa Anytime Fitness in Eton Tower. I think it's the name of the building sa Makati, sa Legazpi Village. And nung time na yon, hindi pa nag-lockdown nun. Hindi pa pandemic nun. Pero it was very early in the year. Parang I think we were aware na there's this sickness na spreading, na nagsistart na, and in some parts of the world, they've tightened borders and something like that. So, grabe, 5 years to the fact now. And I feel like it's just the natural evolution, no? It's part of the natural evolution of things. So, here we are. What were you doing 5 years ago?
5 years ago, kakapasok ko lang ng college dun eh. I just graduated high school 5 years ago.
Pero ngayon, graduate ka na ng college.
Kaya now,
Graduate ka na ng college.
8 months na since I last graduated college.
Sa akin kasi blurry lahat yan dahil as far as I remember, as coaching CrossFit classes, tapos, sumasali ka in my classes. So, ilan taon ka nun?
Parang second CrossFit class ko, ikaw.
Okay.
Ikaw yung coach.
Okay.
Tapos, ano nga ba yun? Gamit ko pa nun yung training bar na 15 pounds. Ilang taon ba? I think I was 16. Kaka-16 ko lang during that time.
So, is that like, well, kasi nung panahon namin, pag sinabi mong 16 ka, that's our last year of high school.
Hindi. Sa amin, with the K to 12 setup,
Iba,
16 years old ka, you're just finishing up grade 9. Around that.
Hanggang 12. No?
Yes.
So, meron ka pang 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
So, usually, you graduate high school, magna-19 ka na? 18,
Medyo.
19 ka na?
I graduated high school. Medyo 18 now. No? I was 18.
Okay. And now you're coaching. That's the crazy thing.
Medyo.
So, after graduating college, you find yourself in the same industry that me and your brother have both been a part of. So, I think, to me, it's like a full circle moment.
I was about to say nga eh.
Yeah, it comes full circle. I started training your dad and your older brother. I want to say 2010 or 2011. I want somewhere thereabouts.
This is what I remember. First time I met you, I was 7 years old. Tapos, I was too young to join dad and kuya for the weight.
So this was 2000. You're born
02. I'm an 02 kid. 2002.
Ganun ako katanda. Grabe.
Yan. Na-meet ko si Tito Jeredan. I was 7 years old. So, do the math na lang. Kaya na yun. When he was training my brother and my dad, I was with my mom doing Zumba classes.
That's a story for another time because that leaves a different memory for me.
Yes.
But no, I mean, so it was with my ex. Right? My ex was teaching you
during the time, yeah.
So okay, that's funny. 2009. So thereabouts 2009.
Yes, 2009.
Wow. So that's literally 16 years ago.
16 years ago. Tama.
To me, the funny thing is to me, yung feeling nun, matagal na siya, pero parang hindi ganun katagal. Ano mo yung parang feeling, sabi mo 16 years. Parang siguro yung feeling ko, parang pag tinanong mo, mga 10 years ago. Parang ganun yung feeling ko. Pero grabe, 16 years ago. Wow. So I was already in the industry back then. So talagang legit, TitoFit is legit. So if you are wondering about I'm 42 years old right now. 42 years old right now.
Yeah, so for the new ones here, medyo established naman na Tito Jeredan has been around. He's been around for a while, more than others.
Yeah, especially as far as fitness goes. I started with initially my interest was really skewed towards bodybuilding. And then sometime around 2010, 2011, I got interested in CrossFit. And I shifted completely to CrossFit by 2012. Went back to bodybuilding early in the pandemic kasi Anytime Fitness was the only gym that was open. So went back to bodybuilding. Immediately got really bored with that type of training. Parang it's like once you do MEPCons, you're changed for life. Once you've done conditioning pieces CrossFit style, if for any amount of time and the effect, parang feeling ko wala na. There's no turning back from that. Are you the same?
I feel like it's the time I entered into fitness and the time you entered into fitness were two very, very different times.
Yeah.
I feel like
we were roughly the same age. Because if you were 16, I was also 16 when I first
started.
Picked up weights. Yeah.
So, parang baka gym during the time? Or
No, it was a commercial gym. Well, back then it was a commercial gym, but it was smaller than your the way that you imagine, like how a big box commercial gym like Anytime Fitness or Fitness First would look like. It's much smaller than that. I would say like maybe 8 treadmills, maybe 4 elliptical machines.
Yeah.
Now, your typical gym has like 20 treadmills, another 10 elliptical
Yes.
machines. So di man lang on that scale, like half of that. But it wasn't a bakal gym. Siguro medyo dun kulang yung experience ko. I wasn't really... I recognize my privilege
Yeah.
na I never had to go to bakal gym. My dad paid for my gym and then eventually put up Plaid Infinity. Those kind of stuff. You're saying?
Yeah, since you mentioned nga, and we've talked about this off air, na your background really started with traditional bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Before CrossFit, I was doing Chinese martial arts, wushu, for 8 years.
That's right.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes, I did wushu for 8 years, which helped, again, side note, which helped me with the CrossFit skills in terms of
Kinesthetic awareness, I think.
Yes.
It's very irreplaceable.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I attribute how fast I was able to pick up the gymnastic skills.
Yes.
Those that don't require heavy loads.
Yes.
I was able to pick up pretty quickly. I did not start, unlike other parang majority of people. I had no idea what traditional bodybuilding was.
Okay.
Parang since our dojo in wushu back at the time was beside the commercial gym, di ba?
Yeah.
So, titingin ako, I didn't understand whatever was going on.
Okay.
I thought that you just go in, you run for a few minutes,
Okay.
you go to whatever machine you want, you hit it really hard for a few minutes, then you just jump from machine to machine, then
No
bounce.
concept of sets, reps.
No.
Structure. Okay.
No, it was
interesting.
During the time I was in my early teens. So, it was so weird.
Teka, parang sa tingin mo para siyang buffet.
Yes.
Parang kung anong gusto mong gawin. Ganun. Okay.
What looks good, that's what you try. Parang
To a certain degree naman, some people do that.
Yeah. So when I entered into CrossFit, I feel like, again, like what you said, I feel like I was privileged into being exposed early in terms of structure.
Yeah.
Like a proper program.
Yeah.
So I feel like I did not go through that.
You didn't go through the bodybuilding phase, or
Yes.
for some other people that's their bakal gym phase. Yeah.
Yes,
You went
yes.
straight to CrossFit.
Yeah. So in terms of moving well, technique form, whatever you want to call it, I was really privileged to be able to not build bad habits at the start.
Yeah.
So ang naging problem ko during that time was I was so slim. Yeah.
Same. So in that sense, I think we're similar. Kasi I started working out to put some meat on my frame. Ako naman, I was extremely underweight. I had just I'd say in the middle of my growth spurt. And to begin with, I'm already lanky, kind of skinny. And as going into college, you were going into college 16.
Okay.
16 years old, yeah. So I was too skinny. I think I was 112 pounds.
At what height?
At the time, I was about 5'8", 5'9".
Wild.
At the time.
112 pounds at 5'8",
Yeah,
5'9".
parang supermodel. Na babae. Parang supermodel na babae.
Very similar tayo. I was 115 pounds, 5'6".
Wow.
Yes.
I was worried na, syempre, you have to remember, this is like the end of the second millennium, or 1999 to be exact. 1999. This is the end of the second. 1999, we're about to enter the year 2000. A lot of changes and we're thinking na parang it was a very different time. Parang it's not like now, I think, na parang a lot of people are, I'm guessing, a little bit more accepting of certain I would say flaws. Inclusivity is a thing now.
Yes, very much.
Back then it wasn't as big of a thing, and I was worried na if I go to college being that skinny, I had no idea what college would be like. I was just worried na parang, because in high school, if you were, I'd say, some people, not me, but some people had a tendency to be picked on
Okay.
by bullies. That was a thing, like not even bullies, I'd say, kasi back then we didn't really consider it bullying. It was more like asaran lang, ganun. Asaran. So baka asarin ka, ganun. Actually inaasar kami, yung mga payat ka, alam mo yung tawag sa'yo si payat or si payatot, ganun. So anyway, kung mataba ka, ang tawag sa'yo sa taba, baboy. Ngayon, baka, I don't know, now from what I hear from some friends who have children, medyo napapa-principal's office yung mga kids who do that.
Wow, viral yan agad.
Yeah, nung panahon namin, no such thing. That's like just a normal part. And actually, you don't, it's not saying it's right, but kumbaga you learn to live with it.
Yes.
You learn to live with it. And actually, the truth is, you become, sometimes, as long as hindi naman siguro harmful yung type ng nangaasar, hindi yung bully masyado, wala, naging kaibigan mo nga yun Tapos mag-aasar na rin kayo. So, kunwari, siya Banter, exactly. Kunwari, medyo magkalapit ng konti hiduling ang tawag mo sa kanya. Diba? So ako, ang takot ko nun was in college, na baka parang sabi ko, college is a clean slate. This is not high school. I don't know these people. Unlike high school na everyone's, your friends are your friends. Pero in college, I was worried na parang, oh no, there's this commercial back then. I think it's commercial in Axe deodorant.
Okay.
First impressions last. Something like that. Parang ganun. So syempre, back then, it's not like now na parang Netflix. TV, channel, scheduled programming, mapapanood yung commercial. Unlike ngayon, walang commercial ang Netflix, YouTube. Kung gusto mo, walang commercial. So parang nakatakot nun. First impressions last, baka tingin nila sa akin, pat-pat. Forever na akong mabansagan na pat-pat. So that's why I started lifting. Yeah.
So just to, because I was thinking, parang it got me thinking about why I started to get into CrossFit.
Yeah.
Ako kasi more of parang there when I hit 16, there was this insecurity burst bigla.
It's probably hormones.
Baka,
I'm guessing it's probably like teenage hormones.
Yeah. Yung like you don't like who you see in the mirror, some sort of thing.
I get where you're coming from. Because like I said, I mean, I started working out to put some meat on me. Meaning I was dissatisfied with what I was seeing. I swear. In the mirror.
Yes.
Na payat. Sobrang payat. And syempre, isa pang iniisip mo, baka hindi maganda yung reception ng girls sa akin.
Yes.
Hindi. Baka isipin ng girls, medyo, wala, di ba? Baka isipin na loser ka or something. Di ba? Medyo may ganong factor. So,
then I remember you said na when you entered college,
yeah,
you were sort of afraid or in doubt or uncertain in terms of your reception, not only with girls, pero with
people in general.
Yeah, people in general.
In school, yeah.
So, did you mean to say na if you were on the fatter side, the thinner side, matik, you'd get picked on. So, it wasn't normal?
Honestly, I feel like it's just your perception. I think the truth of the matter is, when you get into school, people actually don't pay too much attention to other people. Everyone's just busy thinking of themselves. It's just your perception. Now, I think when you're young, pag bata ka pa, meron talagang tendency na medyo papaloob lahat. Yung parang you make a big deal out of everything. And then once you get older, you realize the world is so big. Everyone's just busy with their own thing.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the insecurities or a lot of yung self-doubt mo is literally self-inflicted. And it doesn't really matter to most people. Like, friends will be very accepting of you, whatever you look like. Whether you're skinny, whether you're heavy, doesn't matter. Whether your eyes are crossed or separate, it really doesn't matter. You'll find people who you can hang out with. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'd say ganun siya. But I don't know. It was a very different generation.
Yeah, because now I'm trying to compare and contrast both our times.
So yung malapit pa, medyo kailan lang yan. So yung sa akin, medyo matagal-tagal na.
Kasi, I don't know. Parang ngayon, I want to parang pivot now on in terms of the health and wellness side. Because me personally, starting into CrossFit, starting into, taking priority of my health and everything else. Me starting early is probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
You're now 20.
I'm 22 now.
You're 22. Same. I started at 22. In the profession. Yeah, same. In the profession. The profession, I started 22.
Kasi parang now when I get to talk to moms, dads, like, and now with my peers.
Yes.
Parang when peers who are still hesitant or they still perceive fitness in general as something foreign.
Let's get to that a bit. Let's dig into that. When you say your peers and to them fitness is foreign, I wanna can you elaborate?
Yeah, that's why I asked during your time if it was normal to be fat, to be skinny, or in short, out of shape.
Yeah.
Kasi I don't know, but in my experience, in college at least, it was so normal to be out of shape. Like, pag may makakita ka na medyo, I mean, hindi naman yung batak-batak na, you know na they're active, na they actually put time into.
Basically, they're fit.
Yeah, they're fit. Yung whenever nakakita ko ng ganun, I'm like, I'm surprised. Pleasantly surprised at that.
Meron ba kayong meron ba kayong parang bro code na? Meron na pala.
Pero may mga tinginan din, mga ganun. Pero I don't know, parang during my time, I don't know why it was, hindi naman mind-boggling, pero it confused me, it disturbed me a bit.
Kasi yung exposure mo was medyo normal yung fitness. Kasi coming from your martial arts background ng bata, you were looking inside a commercial gym and everyone was relatively fitter than the average.
Yes.
Relatively fitter than the average. I mean, in a commercial gym naman, you get all sorts, but the fact that they're in the gym, it means they're working on themselves.
Yes.
Interesting. Kasi, so I've been getting into running lately, and once in a while I run in UP. So I when you're running, I don't listen to music when I'm running.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't listen to music when I'm running. I want to be aware. No, I want to be completely aware. I want to be able to listen to my breathing, how labored my breathing is. Because if I listen to music, I realized I used to listen to music, but I guess when it got a little bit more serious, parang alam mo yun, parang you get a little bit more serious about things. You don't need music. So I know I see my surroundings, and I'm thinking that this is UP. This is your normal college person, and I find myself like nodding in approval kasi I see a huge number of fit people who seem to be still in school. I assume that most of them are still in school because they're coming from the buildings. Maybe they have some stuff with them.
Yes.
So I don't think they're like me, who's there just to run, as compared to some other people who I see there. But yun na nga, parang tingin ko sa kanila, compared to my time, di hamak mas madaming fit compared sa panahon namin.
Interesting.
Okay. I think yung exposure mo lang, kasi you came from that background na your martial arts school was right next to a commercial gym. Baka feeling ko parang na-normalize mo masyado yung fitness.
Probably.
Napunta ka sa labas, tapos nakita mo hindi pala ganun ang karamihan ng tao. Parang baliktad sa'yo. Sa'yo, it's a little bit parang alarming. Ako naman, na coming from normal school na I didn't do martial arts next to a commercial gym at the time. I was just in school. When I got to college, I just wanted to be fit for myself. And then nagtuloy-tuloy. I got serious. Pero konti lang talaga yung mahilig nun. And lalo na at the time, this is 20 years ago, 25 years ago, concepts of fitness were very different. It's not as inclusive as it is now. Now, there's literally something for everyone. You have boutique studios that do indoor cycling. You have boutique studios that do Pilates. You have studios that do dance classes. Some that do yoga. And then you have CrossFit. Others like that HIIT, like F45, stuff like that. It's literally something for everyone now. Hindi na dati, during my time, nung bata ako, gym lang. Gym lang talaga.
Your traditional bodybuilding gym.
Either bakal gym or commercial gym.
Yan,
Mamimili ka. Or what they call commercial gym / health club. Yan. So, yung mga medyo mas may kaya ng konti, either nasa sports club / health club, or like, the very first chain, to my knowledge, na merong more than one branch was Slimmers World back then.
Okay.
Yeah, back then they had a few branches, and then Gold's Gym and Fitness First arrived around the same time, around 2002. So they were the first big chains that came.
2002, the year I was born. See,
so you guys are spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
And back then, you have the big gym, machines, free weights, and then you have like a little studio for the aerobics. That's what they used to call it, aerobics group classes. So very, very limited choices for people. So now, I think for the most part, the fitness industry has evolved, and for the better. For the most part naman. Which is why we're doing this, no?
Yes.
But on one side, we're calling it the balanced life kasi I feel like as someone who has evolved as well in my fitness journey, and it's led to so much more than I ever thought it would. You know, when I was starting, akala ko noon around, sabi mo na mga, sometime around 2002, 2004, I really thought I would get into bodybuilding, like the whole posing trunks. And
No way!
yeah! I really thought that was the way. And then there was a time na I think I was probably at my biggest mass-wise, bodybuilding-wise, around 2006, 2007. At the time, I of course I was hanging out with a lot of other big fit guys, and I guess if you saw us walking like outside, parang we at the time we would get like occasional like stares, parang ganon, like you guys are huge, parang ganon,
Of intimidation.
I don't know, intimidation. I'm not sure if it was that or it was maybe curiosity,
Yeah, I guess, yes.
or maybe hopefully admiration. I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. Basta we'd get like looks. You know when someone's looking at you
Yes,
outside,
yes.
diba? Parang more than normal. So parang, but now I feel like now of course my physique is a lot more streamlined. I'd say more functional. It's not as massive as before. But even then, you see big guys outside in the mall, hindi na masyadong tinitignan.
Yes.
It's more normalized. It's more normalized. 2005, 2008, it was different. 20 years later, we're at a point where being fit is a lot more
Accessible.
normal. It's more
normal.
Yeah, it's accessible and it's more normal. And so I feel like with this evolution, parang it's time to also go outside of fitness. Parang the jump off point has always been fitness, but the balanced life, our goal is to hopefully be able to provide value to like-minded individuals. You asked me this before. Tinanong mo na ako niyan. And I told you, I remember, kasi sabi ko, I don't want, don't want the podcast to be for clicks and views. But I feel like we have some value to provide. I have some value to provide, some that I can provide, and that someone will listen. Might not be ABCDE person ABCDE, but it might be person J, K. I never know. Maybe person Z.
Yeah.
And I hope to speak even to that minority. That's fine. I don't see myself as like being like controversial
Yeah.
or too big to no. Parang I feel like it's more like I think there are other people out there who are a little bit more like me. More like me, and will probably be interested in the same things I'm interested in. And I hope that we are able to attract those people with the balanced life. So again, we'll be striving for balance fitness, but there's stuff outside fitness as well.
Yeah. So would you say that this podcast, the show, is not for your hardcore, ultra competitive athlete?
I think some of what we may have to say might appeal to them. Maybe not all, but there's some of it. Like, I think one of our talking points for this episode is the CrossFit Open, right? Which is right around the corner. It's gonna start, I think,
Few weeks.
a few weeks. In a few weeks. I'm not sure about the exact date, but we'll be talking about that in a bit. And that's an interesting topic, if you ask me. Because I feel like there are a lot of podcasts out there like Talking Elite Fitness that are talking about the CrossFit space, but none of them are actually, well, not none. There may be some who talk about it in the local scene. And we will cover a lot of that since we are still very much, I would say, involved with the community. We're still part of the community. And of course, there are some issues that we or may not tackle or talk about. So there's that,
How many opens have you done? CrossFit Opens.
My first open was in 2013. My first CrossFit Open was 2013. I did that. I did most of those in the US, as in the US at the time. And I think the latter part, I had moved to Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 2014, I think I did exclusively in Dubai. And 2015, then I think the last time I might have registered for the Open was, I'm not sure, 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure. But, maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 Opens, something like that. Yeah. And then I haven't done it since the pandemic. I haven't registered for the Open since the pandemic. I did some of the workouts.
Okay.
Pero not as a registered athlete who wants to be on the leaderboard or comparing myself with the rest of the world. I used to think that was a big deal, like all of us.
Yeah, during CrossFit's peak, I guess.
I think the operative word is when the Kool-Aid was strong.
Yes.
When the Kool-Aid was strong,
Pan was
was that thing now you compare yourself against other people your age around the world, in the Open. And it was nice. It's in essence, it's a mass participation event. No, it's changed a lot. Kasi parang dati there used to be 5 weeks, 5 workouts. And in recent years, it's been 3.
Yeah, 3.
I think they
3
did
weeks.
that for accessibility. I'm not sure at this point. I'm not so sure, but some people like it. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But going back to your point, some people like it, some people don't. You mentioned off cam that on your way here, you we're listening to Talking Elite
Oh,
Fit
yeah,
Life.
yeah.
The stat is insane.
44% drop from last year, which was not even peak year. I saw this video about I think anyone watching this can do this because you can go on Google Trends and you can search for the term CrossFit, and then you'll see in the graph that, so I think Google Trends, what Google Trends measures is yung how the number of searches for a term.
Okay, yeah.
So parang how many people searched for the word CrossFit, for example. And I my numbers might be wrong, pero parang I feel like the Google Trend thing, they said like the searches for CrossFit peaked in 2016, I think. 2016, 2017, something like that.
Okay.
And it's been on the decline since. So with what happened last year at the Games,
Definitely.
I think that decline might have even like a bigger cliff. There are some people who are not very satisfied with how the CrossFit Games or HQ has responded to the circumstances or the events of that or that unfortunate tragedy. So I think that's a huge effect. And then a lot of the elites, diba? Some like sila Annie Thorisdottir.
Yeah, they were very vocal about it.
Chandler Smith. They posted na they won't be doing the Open this year. And a lot of people aren't happy with them like that. Pero I think it's the world we live in. Most everyone really has a voice, and opinions are very polarizing. So, ayun. We'll see how it goes. But we were talking about that. I saw the post of CrossFit Philippines about participation per gym. And so I was looking at the numbers. They're not very high. Maybe baliktad. Actually, they're quite low.
Yeah, quite low.
They're quite
Parang
low.
if you sum up all registrants for all CrossFit
gyms.
boxes here,
All boxes.
parang sakop during CrossFit's peak, sakop niya na yung 1 or 2 boxes. Parang that's the number you would get for
It would be
a box or 2.
Hindi naman, but I would say siguro on average back then, halimbawa, I'll use our old gym as an example. Our old gym as an example probably had 8 or 9 coaches. 8 or 9 coaches
so
who
registered.
were all registered.
Yeah.
So parang it was kind of like almost mandatory for all coaches to be in the open. Diba? There yung hashtag nun, in the open.
Yes.
And then let's say na each coach has like a circle of influence to about 2 to 5, anywhere from 2 to 5 people. You get 2 to 5 people to sign up to the open. So 8 to 9 coaches probably get easily like almost 100 people from one gym. Easily. Yeah. And then maybe the smaller gyms, maybe closer to 50. Pero ngayon, I was surprised by those numbers. I think we can bring that up. Like, let's check it out.
Okay.
Let's do a call back to it. Let's search for it.
Yeah.
CrossFit Philippines.
Yeah, so while Tito Jeredan is looking for that stat, if you're wondering about our setup, we are currently here at Navita's house. So they have numerous rentable spaces for you to try. There's a fully functioning kitchen. There's a place where you can have your meetings, you can have your birthday parties, your events, and
Small
whatnot.
talks, like little, what do you call that? Parang, you have a talk. You can have like a little concert even. They've done concerts.
Yes, they've done a few.
It's a space for creatives.
Yes.
Yeah, here in Makati, here in Poblacion, very, very nice space.
Yeah.
Like you said, fully functioning kitchen for small gatherings if you want that. And best part, Jiro Coffee Studio.
Yeah.
In front, right in front. Like that's the best for me.
Yeah. Say,
I'd come here just for that, even. You know,
great food even. Yeah, great food also.
yeah. Teacher Elo, the founder, has been very kind to let us use this space for the podcast. She's been a client of mine for a long time. I've also been training her for a while. So yeah, here in Poblacion, we'll link in the description down below to their socials so you can follow them. You can check them out. It's actually an old house that's from the 50s, and then they renovated it. But they kept some elements of it being old, so it's true to its roots, kind of. But the facade has changed. It's so nice. You guys should check it out. We're here at Navitas House in Poblacion.
Yeah. So that's, I believe, 6218 Manyalak in
6218
Poblacion.
Manyalak, yeah.
In Poblacion.
So here we go. We got number 1, 36 registrants for CrossFit Ethos, just there down the road. And then 24 for Centro Fortis CrossFit. This is in Muntinlupa. 20 for CrossFit Fort Box. And then 12 for CrossFit G Technica in Pasay. 10 for CrossFit Cranium. Oh, Davao. And then the rest are in the single digits.
Single digits.
While with the lowest being seven registrants, 7 toolbox, which is like, as I mentioned earlier, like probably just the amount of number of coaches lang.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Like ikaw, like I want to hear from you. Like, is the open a big deal for?
Well, compared to you, I've done only a few opens. I think I've only done 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, okay. Since majority of my fitness background started with CrossFit, the open, I guess during my first 2 opens,
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Because I was still very new
Yeah.
to CrossFit during the time. So I was so curious about everything that was going on, yung mga gimmicks, the events, yung mga interbox, all of that. So, of course, being 16, 17, 18 years old, excited ka.
Yeah.
Nakaka tayo, sali ako dito, sali ako dito, sali ako dito. Then kita mo, uy, may leaderboard. It must be fun to see where a 16-year-old kid
Can rank.
can rank.
Can you be the fittest 16-year-old in the Philippines? Not
They had stats for everything.
Yeah.
Your age group, your gender, region, whatever.
Exactly.
Kaya during that time, I was very giddy about the open. But as I don't know, I feel like it also had to do with the timing of the pandemic. I still did the CrossFit Open workouts at home.
Yeah.
Since we had a small space to work out there. Pero the excitement was not there anymore, I guess. Then as the years went by, I transitioned to bodybuilding na. So ako baliktad. I started with CrossFit when the pandemic hit.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah, I did 2-3 years of just straight
Pure bodybuilding.
Yeah, pure bodybuilding.
Zero conditioning.
Zero conditioning. Like, I remember during that 2 to 3 year time window, I did 1 CrossFit workout. I think I forgot what year it was.
You
but
almost died. No, just kidding.
yeah, probably right. I think we talked about this. It was the open workout that had so much dumbbell snatches and burpee box jump overs.
Burpees.
And spasm yung likod ko talaga. So yeah, during that time, no engine at all, no endurance at all. But I was able to add a few pounds to my frame during that time. But anyway, going back to your point, parang as open after open after open, parang it started to be, at least for me, it started to become irrelevant.
Okay.
For me during that time.
I'm curious why.
Yeah. Kasi, I don't know, parang now that I saw na, okay, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
In the open, leaderboard wise, I'll expect it's gonna be a 3 weeks of 1 workout per week, ganyan. Parang, I guess it was a reality check for me na, okay, what's the point of ranking yourself
Yeah.
across, let's say, whatever your country, your region, whatever.
Let me interrupt you a little bit there. We're a very small country as far as CrossFit participation is concerned. We already know who's gonna rank number 1. Yes, right? Currently, I think that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And everyone else is probably maybe there's probably 2 or 3 of them max who are probably going for that top spot. And honestly, it could go any way.
Yes.
If you're asking me, it could go any way. And then, but so why do you feel like irrelevant na siya?
Yes. I like what you said na we already know who's going to win. Parang there was a time during Philippine CrossFit na I think it was around, I don't know, 2015 to 2019, around that time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Na there was just this one same guy winning competition after competition, open after open.
Is this our friend?
I think so.
Is this our friend?
I think so.
Our friend that we work with?
Yeah, I believe so. And so shout out Justin Hernandez. Justigas. Yeah, si Justin. Idol natin yan.
Yeah, si Justin. Tama. There's a time na si Justin was... Yeah, wala namang kalaban si Justin. Let's get back to that. I was having this conversation the other day with one of the people we work out with, no? And he was telling me how he doesn't want to compete RX ever.
Parang curious ako. Sino to?
Kilala mo to?
Say, okay. After that.
And tinanong ko siya bakit ayaw mag-compete na RX ever kahit lumakas siya or actually malakas siya.
Okay.
So sabi niya bakit? Sabi niya wala mong point. And he said when now you're telling me na ikaw din to you the open is relevant. So napaisip ako, bakit mo sinabing wala namang point? It's ngayon say irrelevant. And like ako napaisip ako. So I'm thinking, and eventually I went to the conclusion na nga naman, the pinaka-successful na CrossFitter sa Pilipinas, kilala natin siya eh. Wala namang ever nakalagpas sa level niya.
Diba?
Exactly. Hindi natin pwede sabihin ngayon, pero alam nga natin kung saan napunta yun eh. Eventually.
Yes.
Pero, I mean, yeah, at some point I feel like at some point, if you're not the most gifted athlete, kasi, let me tell you this na lang. You know, when I started CrossFit 2011, 2012, a lot of people, you go to any CrossFit box, a lot of people were of the belief that getting to the CrossFit Games was within reach.
Alam ko yan.
To a certain
I agree, yeah.
To a certain degree, they were right. To a certain degree. I would know because I eventually left the Philippines and went to the US, and I was working out with some of the elites at the time. And while I was watching them work out and watching them do what they were doing, it's like, hey, you know, I can do that. I think I can do that. But it also came from parang dilulu.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Dilulu din yun.
You're living in your own delusion.
Yeah, but kasi nga, you look at the movements. Yeah, I can do handstand push-ups. Yeah, I can do muscle-ups. You know, if I work hard enough, I can probably be able to do 30 unbroken, which is at some point they could do this. I was visiting with some of the top athletes at the time. I would see them work out on the regular, and yeah. Pero without understanding the truth of the matter is they got to that point in like a year. You would have to work hard for 3 to 5 years to even get close to where they were then. So, it's like 2 cars. Now, these 2 cars, they meet like say somewhere down the road. Let's say, for example, nagkita sila sa Makati. Oh, nakaabot din ako Makati. Pero Lamborghini yung isa. Walang traffic. Sabi niya, kita tayo sa Alabang. Gano'n siya kabilis makarating ng Alabang, ikaw nakawigo ka.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yes,
Nakawigo ka. Kung walang traffic, tama nga naman, makarating ka rin sa Alabang. Problema, 10 minutes nandun na siya.
Yes.
Kung walang traffic, walang speed limit. So, parang ganun yung elite level genetics athlete. And even, no joke, a lot of them, like my old coach then, she was elite. She was a regionals athlete in the California regionals, no? I don't know if people will remember her. If I mention her name, people will still remember her. Andrea Ager, back then. She was regionals athlete, and then eventually she made the games in teams. Pero what a lot of people don't know is she had 4 years of collegiate NCAA Division 1 track hurdles, 400-meter hurdles experience. So we can just imagine yung level of conditioning. Like, currently, I think ganyan eh. Sydney Wells. I think she has 4 years of elite Division 1 NCAA track experience.
Yeah,
That's why she wasn't...
Yeah.
While Brooke, her twin sister, was competing in CrossFit, she was in her collegiate. Kaya even now, she's still young enough to make it. That's the thing. And I think what a lot of other athletes don't know is that, like, for example, let's see one of the stronger Asian CrossFitters, Ant Haynes. I think he has like rugby experience, like professional rugby player. I think he's so, those are really strong, fit, athletic dudes. And if all of that transfers to their CrossFit,
Yeah.
so it's still a game of elite genetics with hard work.
Yes.
It's like, the saying, hard work beats talent.
When talent
Doesn't
doesn't work
work
out.
out.
Yeah.
Problem is, CrossFit is such a accessible sport that the talented do get to work
Yes.
hard. So, parang I think when you say na irrelevant or someone wala namang point, I think it's you being parang cognizant of that reality.
Yeah.
Na if you don't have elite genetics, if you did not make it to the regionals level in 1 year, like Matt Fraser, within 1 year, he was second at the CrossFit Games.
But people forget he did Olympic weightlifting for 10
He
years.
was U.S. national weightlifting team until he got hurt. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Na parang the reason why he was able to get there so fast is because he has that background and the genetics for it. And people sometimes delude themselves into thinking na parang, you know what, I can do it too. How much of your life are you willing to sacrifice? Right?
Like, I mean, local competitions here alone. I mean, we've competed in a few of them.
Yeah.
The past few years. Most of them, yeah. The past few years. Parang in the local scene pa lang, grabe yung, like, the prep. You have to be mindful about everything.
Recovery, nutrition.
Yes.
You have to put in the hours of training as well. And that's just at a local level.
Yes.
That's just at a local level. So you can just imagine at the world or at the elite level, iba talaga. Which is also why I think sports like high rocks are becoming more popular while CrossFit is, I would say, parang the popularity of CrossFit is slowly becoming less and less. Popularity of a sport like high rocks is going to be exploding soon. Like, you were with us in Singapore last year.
Yeah.
8,000 in 1 day.
Wild.
8,000 people join one high rocks event in 1 day. And a week later, it would be somewhere else. I don't know. It would. How many high rocks have there been at this point around the world? Diba? What people, some people in the Philippines are probably hearing about high rocks only recently.
Yes.
But it's been around for a couple of years now. No? And in Europe, in the US, it's getting big. High Rocks Las Vegas. Did you hear about that?
No, that's it.
High Rocks Las Vegas. There's a joke. The people who placed highest are all elite CrossFitters.
Really?
Except for like the mixed doubles. So mixed doubles, like the one who won mixed doubles, I think they're European. But second was like Emily Lugman from Invictus.
Okay.
And her teammate was like, he's also games athlete. And then like a few slots below them, you had like Justin Medeiros.
Yeah.
And parang, I think 2 places down, but the difference was seconds. And then you have from Matt Fraser joined the same event.
Fraser
Matt
joined the open divisions.
yeah, open division, and then in the, I think previously, in somewhere in Texas, I think Christy Eramo O'Connell.
Yes.
Yeah, she won first in pro, women's pro.
Wow.
Like,
What?
without even knowing exactly what it was. Like, until...
Tia Toomey, James Newberry.
Exactly, in Australia. So, you have these CrossFitters that are like trying it out.
Yes.
I mean, you see the memes na parang CrossFitters joking about people who join High Rocks, and it's like they're picking on the new guy.
Yeah.
When the truth of the matter is, you have the elite CrossFitters even giving it a shot. As far as I understand, HWPO proven they're going to be coming out with their own High Rocks programs. So they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They didn't see the
Potential.
Exactly. I mean, it's because of the structure. It's not because one is better than the other. It's just that how long will it take for you to be good at CrossFit? How long will it take for you to be able to string your muscle ups together, even just to get a muscle up? The open used to be good because it would help you unlock these things. Unlock your first muscle up, unlock your first, or maybe PR with your snatch. But, nowadays, I guess, it's just with human nature. Parang they just want, look, I just want to join.
Yeah.
I don't want to take too long. And High Rocks is like that. Parang, I mean, honestly, you can be a not so great runner. That's me. Okay? Fairly decent at weights. That's me. And you can do it. Now, it's not going to be easy. Ang hirap ng takbo for me, the first time.
Yeah, don't get us wrong. You have to train for it.
You have to train for it. Pero, even if you don't, if you have a decent level of baseline fitness, you'll be able to join and you'll be able to finish. Question is how long?
Yeah.
How long or how... But that's the thing about it. There's no performance anxiety as much. Kasi, good thing about it is, your records are easily accessible. So you're just trying to go against yourself better. And the format is there. It's a set format. It's literally like... The High Rocks is the same every single time. The only thing that changes is the venue.
Yeah. Location.
Yeah, location.
I have a question. I don't know about you, but for me, when I join CrossFit competitions, even though, let's say, realistically, I know that I'm not going to win. I'm not going to podium.
Yeah.
But inherently, I'm still competitive. Like, even though I know I'm not going to place high, still going to try.
Yeah.
Still be competitive at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most CrossFitters, I believe, are like that. Pero, I don't know. With High Rocks, correct me if I'm wrong, is it right to say na parang with the people joining High Rocks, they are more in it for the overall experience than the competitive side of things, na they're there to
win?
Yeah, to win. Parang that's one of the things I noticed between the differences of, I don't know.
Magandang palaisipan and tanong. I think people are doing it for different reasons. I agree with you. I'm personally there, one, for the experience. That's the first. I love the experience of High Rocks. It's just a very well organized event. We've, like you said, we've competed in most of the local competitions. Some of them not so great as far as how they're organized. So when I saw how well High Rocks was organized, I was like, wow. There's that wow, everything's perfect, from the location of the hydration stations to the scale of how many rowers and ski ergs. And it's just a very well-run event overall. So that's one. I don't think I'm going to win. Ever. Ever. No matter how good I become at running. But at least I have something to compare to. So I've already done High Rocks twice. 2023 October, and then May was that
July.
June, I think.
Not June, sorry.
Yeah, June
Late
last year.
Late June.
I go on the High Rocks site. I can see my results. I can see how long I took at each station, how fast I was at each run. I have that data to compare it to, and I can definitely promise. Well, I can make a promise and make a commitment to myself that the next High Rocks I'm gonna join is gonna be an improvement on that, because everything is measurable, and as they say, what gets measured
Gets improved.
So that's what I like about High Rocks, and why I will continue to keep doing it. I don't see myself joining a CrossFit competition when I'm 50. I don't. I'll try my best to do it as long as I can, but I can see myself joining High Rocks well beyond my 50s. Like even in my 60s, High Rocks always has that they show these 70-year-olds completing the race.
Yeah, in Singapore, they show that in Singapore.
And then everywhere else they've done a High Rocks, they there's that token.
Yeah, they always
senior
hire
citizen
sites.
who finishes. And actually, there are a lot of people in that age category. They say you're automatically grouped into
Interesting.
each category. So yeah, there's that. Definitely, I think the appeal of High Rocks, it's for a much broader audience. Nothing complicated. You don't need
Yes.
to learn muscle ups to do High Rocks. You don't need to. The most complicated thing or skill thing is the wall ball.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're not even that strict with the standards.
Yeah, if you're coming from CrossFit,
Questionable yung standards nila.
if you're coming from CrossFit, the whole wall ball situation in terms of the judging will get you confused.
And it's fun. Yung parang, oh, this is fun. You mean I just have to do 100 wall balls split between me and my. If you're doing doubles, let's say split between you and me. Yeah, let's just go every 10. Palip tayo. It's a different story if you're doing it solo. 100 wall balls, yeah. But that's different. I think if you join the solo ones, that's a little bit more of you're trying to be more competitive.
Yeah, man.
Or maybe it's just the next step from doubles. You've done doubles quite enough. You think you can do individuals? Yeah, go ahead. I think there's that. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like there's the appeal of being part of it's like joining a fun run or a marathon. Parang ganun siya for me. Like, if you say that you have a sub 4 hour, 42K, diba? We know that you're a good runner.
Yeah.
Right? If you say that you have a sub 1 hour 30 High Rocks, yeah, you're probably a good fitness. You're quite fit. So I think it's very promising. I think High Rocks hit something that CrossFit may have missed. It's the CrossFit has always been honest about that part where they're forging elite fitness.
Right.
But by the word elite fitness, that's not very inclusive.
Yeah.
Anyone can do CrossFit. Your grandmother can do CrossFit. But with CrossFit, it's the opposite. We start from the muscle up and we scale it down. If you can't do the muscle up, okay, we have this and this for you. It's the opposite for High Rocks. This is all you have to do. This is it. Right? It doesn't matter how long you take, as long as you finish it.
Yeah.
You can take the whole day for.
Yeah.
Diba? So, yeah, there's that.
I'd like to piggyback on what you said with regards to the CrossFit, the intimidating side of CrossFit.
Yeah.
Now that High Rocks is starting to become more talked about around, what's your opinion on, I don't know, CrossFitters that still join, let's say CrossFit competitions, and whether
They open, ganun.
yeah, parang given this increase in popularity, I guess, of another sport, of another physical activity,
Yeah. Or like it's a sport, technically.
Yeah, it's a sport. Parang what's left for Philippine CrossFit?
I mean, I feel like CrossFit will always be there. People will always want to be able to do hard things that not everyone can do. There's people will always want to be pushing the boundaries of their physical capabilities. So I think CrossFit is really good for that, and I think I don't think mawawala yan. Now, maybe the popularity is declining, but I love CrossFit. CrossFit is, for me, it's still the best discipline as far as the disciplines are concerned. And you don't even have to choose. You can do CrossFit, do high rocks. I think maybe for the Philippine context, it's just that maybe most CrossFitters here are the type who like to move heavy weights and not run as much. So maybe they have to add that. Because once you go to the States and you go higher up the food chain as far as the elites of CrossFit are involved, those guys have amazing endurance, amazing VO2 max. Those guys can run. But here, I think the people who like running, enjoy running in the CrossFit community, they're more of a minority. But I think that's probably the missing link. So, but that being said, I feel like you said, what do I feel about that? I think there's a bit of, I think it's coming. I think there's a bit of competition fatigue. I feel like there might be too many competitions. But that's just my opinion, okay? I have nothing against the people who are organizing these competitions. The market will always decide which competitions are worth joining, which competitions not so worth joining. Actually, to be fair, I think most of the competitions that have been around for a while, they're starting to build their own identity. So like this competition is good for beginners. It's their core. It's the first time to compete. This competition is good if you feel like you've tested yourself already enough. Oh, this competition is good if you just want to have fun. It's a team competition for friends. Oh, if you want to do individuals, do this competition. But I feel like they're all gaining an identity, and that's good for the industry overall. But maybe the drawback is just in there might be too many, and it might be hard to make a profit. That's how I feel. Like if you're organizing a competition and planning to be another one, I think that you have to be excellent in how you produce the competition. Everything. It's not just about programming now. It's not just about programming. Oh, yeah. It's not just about programming. It's about your production. It's about the photos, things like that. But you get from higher ups. It's about how well organized the flow is, how the judges are. Are the judges very professional? Is this competition being accused of score manipulation, right? Or being unfair?
Right.
God knows that there are those competitions. They exist here in this country, right? And if the people, I think even the fact that the identity of who is organizing these competitions, oh, this person is organizing this competition, I think that's going to also play a factor in a lot of the people deciding to join competition as well. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like CrossFit is still great if you wanna sort of unlock new skills for, I guess, an aspect of a part of self-development or whatever.
Honestly, I feel like it's the best. It's the best. Powerlifting, it's very one-sided. 1 rep maxes only. 3 lifts only. Bodybuilding, that's not a sport. That's a pageant. right? How can it be a sport? It's subjective, right? It's not a sport. A sport has to be measurable.
Hot take.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a men's pageant.
Hot
Right?
take.
Okay, it's how good you diet and what genetics you're blessed with. It's not how skilled you are. Okay? For me, a sport, I have nothing against bodybuilding, right? I just don't consider it a sport. It's a pageant. Because it's, think about it. Miss Universe. Who wins Miss Universe? Probably the prettiest, the sexiest, the one who presents their package, who wears their gown the best, who answers the question the best makeup, right? Bodybuilding is like that. If your
Very
tanning
similar.
is off, if you don't tan right, if you don't apply the tan correctly, your chances of winning are gone. If your trunks are basic, like, I don't see people who wear like, diba, their trunks are sparkly, glittery nowadays, and then their hair, it's well done. Does that matter in CrossFit? No. Does that matter in High Rocks if you're the most well dressed? It doesn't, right? What matters is that you finish first. You're able to do the work first, fastest, strongest, powerlifting. So going back to that, I got sidetracked. Okay, bodybuilding is more for show. Okay, it's more for show than it is actual physical capability. And then it's a, don't get me wrong, the discipline required to make it in bodybuilding is just stellar. Like, I think they are the most disciplined of all the.
I was about to say.
Of all the physique. Okay, let's just call them athletes for now. Physique athletes, for lack of a better word for now. Powerlifting, one-sided, bodybuilding, and then you have people on the extreme opposite end of the spectrum who
Endurance
run
sports.
marathons, triathlons, endurance athletes, who like, if you're on your bike, you have to be aerodynamic and really skinny, right? Diba?
Yeah.
I mean, that's weight is such an issue. So you're missing the strength, the component. You have good leg strength for sure because you're on your bike, but actual strength to push weight, physique, your upper body strength, those are lacking. So I think CrossFit is still the most complete. And High Rocks kind of overlaps. It's somewhere there. Like,
Yeah.
they're both in the middle. If you have like pure weightlifting and powerlifting on this one end of the spectrum, and then you have ultra marathons and endurance here, I think CrossFit and High Rocks are like somewhere in the middle, but just on opposing ends. CrossFit is closer to the powerlifting, weightlifting end, and then you have High Rocks, which is skewed more towards the endurance end, but they're the same. They're in the middle. So,
Would you recommend CrossFit to someone who wants to join High Rocks?
for sure. Like I mentioned, di ba, yung mga nanalo sa what do you call this? Nanalo sa states recently, like High Rocks Las Vegas. Those who placed higher already CrossFitters. So maybe they just have to add running, but they have the strength there. If they become good runners, then I mean, honestly, when my first High Rocks, which was in Singapore 2023, the people who came from the Philippines, most of us were CrossFitters. Like, I'd say maybe 70-80% of us were CrossFitters. So there's already that, I would say, like, parang that bias for CrossFitters to join such an event. Last year, the one in Singapore, I think it's relatively the same. But maybe that's gonna change. That's gonna change here in the Philippines once High Rocks actually comes here, which we're still waiting for that. They have a local account, pero I think a lot of people will be interested in it. And then, kasi diba, High Rocks officially partnered with F45 as far as I understand.
Really?
Yeah, as far as I understand, High Rocks is officially partnered with F45.
Interesting.
And F45 has quite a huge presence in most countries, I think.
Interesting.
I think people who do F45 type workouts are already primed to do fairly well at
In
High
High
Rocks. Kasi as far as I understand, it's like a 45-minute workout each time they go, like 45 seconds EMOM. I think that's why it's called F45, right?
All right.
45 minutes, 45 seconds per minute.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah, so they have the capacity. Maybe just to build a little bit more strength for the sled.
Yeah, for the sled.
Yeah, for the sled.
The
But
carries.
I think their work capacity, their engines are already pretty good. Yeah, I think they were the others who were there the first time we joined High Rocks. Some of the others who were there were from F45 here. Yeah, it's for other F45s. But I think the official partnership is only late last year. I don't think I saw that on Instagram or something like that. Yeah. So it should be interesting.
Who do you think would do better in a High Rocks race? A lifter who just needs to add running to their program, or a runner who just needs to add
Needs
lifting?
to add strength. I hope the people who are on the, what do you call this, on that side of that like spectrum that I mentioned, like the strength portion, don't hate me for saying this, but I think the ones who are better runners are going to win.
Interesting.
Because I feel like with High Rocks, I think it's 60% running.
That makes sense.
70%
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
And only 30%
that is running.
Yeah, so honestly, like for example, let's use the sleds as an example. That's the most strength biased element of High Rocks. You have just two, the sled push and the sled pull. Those two are the heaviest. The faster ones, they finish those in less than 5 minutes. The slower ones, sabi mo na, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes is like super slow already. I don't think someone is gonna take 10 minutes on that. So tap on, let's say 20 minutes for those two stations max. But let's say you run your 1 kilometer in less than 5 minutes,
Yeah.
right? You can
That's
still
true.
do better. And I saw it in action. I saw these guys when we did High Rock Singapore 2023. I saw these guys were like really skinny guys. They seemed to me like they were really good runners, and they were running fast. Once they got to the sleds, I saw they got to the sleds. I had the bus, of course. I had me and Anton at the time. They were pushing the sleds. They probably have to brake like every 3 meters. They'd stop and like, but they were able to push it, and they still were quick out the gate after. When those are done, they're okay.
Yeah. Faster than you guys during the time.
I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but I mean, I saw them get out of the sleds, so I think they did okay. You know,
So a solid running background would be very beneficial.
I think so. I think it's easier for the runner to build some strength for the part where they need the strength than it is for the strength athlete who needs to add the runs. Because I feel like, yeah, you can run, but you run fast.
Right.
You know, like you can run a 10K, and if you're slower than a 6-minute pace, it means it takes you more than 1 hour to run a 10K. And that's probably going to be the pace you'll be doing for High Rocks. You're probably going to be running at a 10K pace just because you have other stuff to worry about. But the real runners who run at a sub 1 hour 10K, imagine if you have like a 48-minute 10K,
Yeah.
and then you have to run a 1K, di ba? Easy lang yun. Di ba?
Yeah.
So what do we have in store for the next couple of stuff, no?
For the next episodes, I don't think you guys will see me as often.
Much?
I'll be working behind the camera. But don't worry, Tito Jeredan and the entire team of TitoFit have a very, very
I think
great
we'll
line.
see your takes every now and then, you know. You'll probably be the third voice. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it depends on how many guests we have.
Yes.
So we're planning on bringing on guests.
Yes.
Yeah, we're planning on bringing on guests. So this podcast is not just going to be about, it's definitely not going to be about me. That's for sure. Kasi we already have TitoFit for that.
Yeah.
TitoFit is our platform for me to like inform, maybe like more like as a personal vlog sometimes, but more like to relate that to fitness and how it can relate to the audience. But this the balanced life is more gonna be about our friends and what they can provide, how they can provide value to our audience. And I'm sure that our friends can definitely provide a lot of value.
We have a
The reason
lineup.
why I'm having them here is because I already have received a lot of value from them. And on the other hand, I like, other people should hear this. Other people should hear this. We should learn from this person and that person. So, for sure.
Yeah, so again, as Tito Jeredan mentioned, if you want to follow his journey from, if you saw our video on YouTube, you can check that out. He's a newly certified dad.
Daddy fit.
Yeah, Daddy Fit.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow along his journey, perhaps even join him if you're looking to get back in shape, get into a fitter 2025. Feel free to check out our videos.
Let us know in the comments what you'd want to see. If you have any suggestions for any of the stuff that we have, especially for this podcast. And again, if you've made it this far, please make sure. And if you have not yet subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Follow us on our other socials as well. On Instagram, we have at TitoFitPH and then at Jeredan _ and at Zaki Emmanuel. We'll all link to that in the description. And again, thank you very much to Navitas House for having us and for giving us this amazing space to record this podcast. That's it, folks.
Pilot episode done.